Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of I Do Everyday Automation, where we talk about products and projects to make life easier. On today's episode, I want to talk about gaming headsets. I know you guys are probably thinking, more headphones? But there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. So here's my Turtle Beach Ear Force headsets that I've been using on my Xbox for a little bit of time now, and they're starting to give me issues here and there. So I looked at a couple of products, one of which that would allow me to connect my Galaxy Buds Plus to my Xbox controller. But I was concerned about some of the quality there and having surround sound like what I have with my Turtle Beach Ear Forces. So after all of my complaining, going back and forth, one of my good friends, actually my best friend Nick, shout out to Nick, got me an early birthday present. He got me the SteelSeries Arctis 9X, which will work with Xbox and Bluetooth devices at the same time. So that's kind of where the automation part of it comes in. So we're going to go ahead and unbox this, and I'll talk more about the features and why this is going to be a game changer, not only for my current setup, but for going down the road, especially since I travel for work occasionally. So stay tuned. All right, so let's go ahead and get these guys open, and I'll tell you a couple of features and reasons why this headset is going to be what I consider a game changer for my current setup. Like I mentioned, as you see here, this works with Xbox One and Windows 10 out of the box. So you won't need a dongle or anything like that. These will sync with the Xbox natively. And as I've mentioned, they have Bluetooth built in. So they will work with your phone. They're Discord certified, as you can see here from this little label. They have a full EQ. They have software that you can use to actually program the EQ and have different gaming profiles set up. So if you play like a lot of shooter games, you can have them set up to hear one type of sound. Oh man, this box is tight. A little for glory on the front. Slide that out, and let's get to the action here. So they have a full steel construction. Of course, you get a little USB micro on there. So like I was saying, the frame is actually full steel. The headset actually slides in and out. They have the strap that you can adjust for comfort. And let's compare it to the Turtle Beach. So with these, you had a mic that would pop in and out. But the biggest issue was the fact that there was a dongle that they synced with. And from time to time, that dongle would, come unsync or impair. So like I said, with this one, you have a button on here, should be a button to sync it directly with the Xbox. You can adjust your game chat to have, more from the controller or more from the voice chat. And then you have your charging port. You can power these externally with just an aux cable. You can mute your mic, volume up and down. Nice neoprene feeling ear cups that looks pretty comfortable. And that's pretty much the front and back of this. So we're going to go ahead and connect to the software and see how the EQ sets up. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about why I'm excited and why I think these will have a long future with my gaming habits and needs as I travel. All right, so now that you have the headset unboxed and ready to go, before you pair it or after you pair it, you can go to steelseries.com and go to the URL you guys see on the page to download the engine. There's a engine version 2 and an engine version 3. I just downloaded the engine version 3 since it seems to be the most recent version. So we're going to go ahead and let that download and install. In the meantime, I'm actually really excited about this headset. It comes highly recommended both by, gamers on many forums and as well by my friend Nick. Now that that's finished downloading, we can go ahead and go through the install process. All right, so now you're just gonna let it unpack. And while it's unpacking, like I mentioned before with the Arctis 9X, you guys can actually uh, answer calls in while you're in game, and the audio from the call does not bleed over into the game audio. The person in game can hear you, but they can't hear the person on the other end of the phone call. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run this. Hit next. Hit I agree. Let it run through the install process here. All right, we are almost ready for the software to launch. So yeah, like I was saying, the person in game can hear you, but they can't hear the person on the other end, which could be a mixed blessing, especially if you do want that phone call to be private. Then you may want to mute your game audio from the actual Xbox itself instead of the headset through the Xbox menu. So we'll go ahead and launch this application, and then I'll give you guys a quick tour of that before moving on to some of the cloud gaming with Xbox Project X Cloud and with Google Stadia. All right, so you're presented with this screen as soon as you log in. You can change your preferences here. You can sign up for Cloud Sync to sync your settings. Now it supports GameSense for some of your favorite games. And you also see they're advertising their Apex Pro keyboard. We'll go ahead and close this. You're presented with the Arctis 9 base menu. And as you can see here, currently we have the default configuration in place. You can manage and create different configurations from this menu and have them saved. For now, we're just going to click on the headset, and you can see here's EQ1, and right now its preset is set to flat. EQ2, obviously bass boost and smiley is the next one, and performance is the fourth. On this side, you'll see you have the option to turn Bluetooth on when the headset powers on. You have a couple other settings, like you can set the mic tone to where you can actually hear your voice, so you're not talking like super loud. I have that problem a lot of times when I'm gaming. If my headset is completely encapsulated in the sound, I can't really hear how loud I am, so that'll help with that. Under apps, you have some basic apps you can log into, like if you guys have a Discord team that you guys play with, you can configure that here. Then there's a couple other apps for like their LED setups and stuff like that for some of the other SteelSeries products and companion products from third parties. So you can kind of scroll through here, and there's an option to make your own app. We may take a look into that. For library, as you can see right now, we currently don't have any games or anything installed. You can set up games in here that, and I think this is more so for when you're playing on Windows 10, so you can have those settings set up.
All right, so when we started recording, my new monitor actually showed up. I got a 34-inch widescreen for light gaming and video editing. And while this montage runs, we'll go ahead and give a quick overview of Project xCloud and Google Stadia, more so about Microsoft's Project xCloud. I think it obviously is going to be the future of gaming, more so of cloud gaming. Microsoft's dipping their toe in the water. Currently, they offer 50 plus games on the xCloud platform itself, and then you're allowed to stream your console to your phone as well. Now, you do have to have an invitation to get in, but once you're in, you have access to beta software and the Project xCloud setup. Now, remember though, if you do stream from your home console, that will eat up your bandwidth, especially if you're away from the home. But being able to hook your phone up to a larger monitor or a TV and then game remotely is a plus. Now, with that being said, remember you will be caught up under the restrictions if you have any data caps, and that could be disastrous if you go over. And you will have issues with lag if you have a poor connection or a high ping or anything like that. So keep that in mind if you do get accepted to the beta or if you do sign up for xCloud once it becomes publicly available. With that being said, like I said, if you have a poor connection, you may see some tearing, some frame loss, all the usuals. And that's kind of the same for Stadia as well. But I will say it's all in all a good experience, especially if you're away from the home and you need your gaming fix or just want to casually play to eat up the time, especially if you're in a hotel like I am a lot. Gives you something to take your mind off of your surroundings and little creature comforts of home. So we'll take a look at that here in just a second. With that being said, let's talk a little bit more about the SteelSeries Arctis 9X and how it can incorporate the elements of automation, so to speak, within the platform.
All right, so as you guys can see here, I have my pandemic setup. I've been relegated to a small little corner in one of the rooms since my wife's working from home as well. The good thing about these SteelSeries Arctis 9X is I can use these for music and I can use it for gaming. But in the future, the reason I like this setup, this taught me something about what I can do with this setup in the future. Since I do travel for work, since I'm in the IT field, I normally do have, my work laptop or some variation of it. I have a mobile version of this dock that I take with me to hotels that also does plug directly into my Galaxy S20 Ultra. The reason I say this is game changing is because I can go from this on the Xbox to this on the Galaxy S20. And with having Google Stadia and having Project xCloud access, I can play games on the go as long as I have my controller. So I can envision a setup where I just undock this guy, plug the phone in, headset's already connected to the phone, power on the controller, and I'm ready to game. So now that we've gotten everything else out of the way, let's go ahead and plug up the S20 Ultra to my travel dock and get it connected to the monitor so I can give you guys a quick little tour of how this all works. So as you can see now we have the Samsung Dex menu up. We can go ahead and adjust the screen size here and launch the Xbox game preview application. So you have to do some configuration at first. It'll open up the windows based on whatever scale resolution you had set, and then you have to make some changes. Since this screen is 1440p, once I get the application launched, I'm going to have to make the adjustments to make it full screen. And this is just showing you guys all the apps. Grab my keyboard real quick, and there we go. So I launched the streaming app, made it full screen. And we're going to go in here and make an adjustment. All right, now we are set. So now it launches in full screen. And one thing about Project xCloud, because it does sync your game data, if it's a game you've already been playing, like right here, I went ahead and launched Forza Horizon because I had game data saved for this. It is going to sync it, so this could take a while, especially if you're not playing it straight from the console. But again, remember, from playing it from the console, we're going to have the cost of it chewing up bandwidth back from your home network, as well as if you have any data caps or anything, those will be affected as well. So just keep that in mind if you plan to stream from the console. You want to have a high bandwidth for external traffic and definitely low latency. So now that that's loaded, we're going to go ahead and it takes about the normal time it would to load the Forza game if I were on my console, get through the community page and everything, and here we go. We are ready to race. And I'm just gonna cut a couple of corners real quick just to show you guys, uh, not following the road or designated path, that it really does well. I mean, of course you're gonna drop some frames, but you're streaming this. This isn't on a local console, and definitely not locally on the phone. So keep that in mind. There will be slight input lag, but I don't think it's enough to really affect you. As you can see here, you still have access to your party so you could invite somebody to a chat, all from the same SteelSeries Arctis headset and Galaxy S20 Ultra. And now I'm just going to launch Stadia at the same time. So Stadia is running, and as you guys can see, I never closed out the Xbox Project X cloud service. So Stadia is running at the same time. But remember, your overhead is on the servers. So of course, we're going to launch Tomb Raider. It seems to be kind of like the standard benchmark anytime you want to test something these days when it comes to computer gaming. And as you can see, still not much quality, I would say, lost. Now keep in mind that, again, this is running from the phone. So depending upon your phone's resolution, you may have some issues. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your time off if you're getting it, or your time with family if you're getting it, or if you guys are still working, hopefully, you are enjoying that. As we produce more content, make sure you like and subscribe so you see it and get the notifications whenever it comes out. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.